"You can't put a fence through my damn kitchen," I yelled, slamming open the back door and stumbling barefoot into chaos. A chain-link fence rusted, crooked, cut straight through my property like a butcher's knife, running through my chicken coop and slicing just feet from the porch where I'd stood 100 mornings sipping coffee. My hens were shrieking on one side. My goat was crying on the other, and right at the center of the madness stood a woman in a navy blazer with a clipboard and the kind of smug smile that made my fists twitch. Her name was Denise Hayward, and she was the president of the Hillpine HOA. I'd been gone 3 weeks on a trip for my mother's estate. While I was gone, Denise decided to repurpose part of my ranch into a communal green space. She didn't ask. She acted. And now, half of my family's land, the land we'd held for 3 generations, was littered with flamingo-decorated lawns, matching beige homes, and HOA signs zip-tied every 5 feet. Denise looked me up and down like I was the trespasser. "You must be Mr. Rayburn. We sent notice to the temporary mailbox near Lot 54. Lot 54. That was 2 acres deep into my hayfield now, covered in prefab homes and plastic picnic tables. I clenched my jaw so hard I thought I'd crack a molar. "You built on my land," I growled. "I didn't get any notice at my legal address." She flipped through her clipboard like it was gospel and muttered something about a zoning overlay and community integration under Section 9B of their charter. I didn't know whether to laugh or tackle her. I looked her dead in the eyes. "This ranch was here before your HOA even existed. And now you're quoting bylaws at me on soil my grandfather plowed by hand." A few neighbors peeked out from their cookie-cutter porches, confused. One kid on a scooter skidded to a stop to watch the showdown. Denise, sensing the audience, spun around and raised her voice. "We offered Mr. Rayburn a replacement lot by the waste facility for his livestock. He chose conflict over compromise. It was like watching a politician lie through her teeth, and the worst part? She was good at it." I pulled out my phone and called the sheriff. Deputy Connor showed up 20 minutes later, boots dusty, hat tilted low. "It's complicated," he said. "There's a zoning dispute filed last year. Some clerical error caused overlapping claims. Until it's sorted, we can't enforce either party's position. My land, the pasture my grandfather raised cattle on, was now a glitch." Denise smirked like she'd already won. "Might want to call a lawyer," she said sweetly. I didn't reply. I just walked inside, locked the door, and went straight for the old wooden chest beneath the window. Inside were my grandfather's original land grants, surveyor maps, and a sealed envelope marked Property Protections Rayburn Holdings. I opened it with shaking hands. There, in bold print, was a clause. In the event of charter expiration, default, or unlawful encroachment, property shall revert to the grantor or their heirs. Revert as in return. My heart pounded. The next morning, I was at the county recorder's office before they even unlocked the doors. 1 hour, $45, and a very helpful clerk later, I had confirmation. The Hillpine HOA charter had expired 9 months ago. No renewal, no vote, nothing. Their authority was null. I called Vanessa. My cousin wasn't just a lawyer, she was a damn warhammer in heels. I'd once bailed her out when she was fresh out of law school and broke. She never forgot it. Before I finished explaining, she was already packing her laptop. By noon, we were hunched over a booth in a diner near the courthouse. "They built after the charter expired?" she asked, flipping through documents like a machine. "That means every fence, every home, every utility redirection theory, all illegal." I nodded. "They offered me a goat pen next to a dump site." She smirked. "Oh, they're cooked." Vanessa drafted a reinstatement notice. It wasn't an eviction yet, but it made one thing clear. Unless these homeowners signed a new lease agreement under my name, they were occupying private property. We served the notice at the next HOA board meeting. Denise was in full peacock mode, surrounded by her clipboard army. Vanessa walked straight to the front, dropped a manila folder like a grenade, and said, "This HOA no longer exists. You are now trespassing." Dead silence. Denise flipped through the pages, trying to hide her panic. One man dropped his pen. Another board member swore under his breath. "This is absurd," Denise hissed. "You can't just declare yourselves landlords." "We're not declaring," Vanessa replied. "We're enforcing your own charter, specifically, Clause 12. The county confirmed it expired. That means all development after is null." That night, I stood on my porch and looked across the land they thought they'd stolen. The fence still stood, but it felt smaller now, like it knew its time was up. Vanessa stayed. We turned the barn into a legal hub. Lease agreements, zoning certificates, tenant notices all processed in stacks. I expected resistance, but instead, residents came quietly. Some were angry. Most were confused. But when we laid out the facts, when they saw how hollow the HOA really was, they stopped defending it. Denise, of course, filed a lawsuit. Hired a slick attorney from Austin. Claimed unlawful seizure. In court, Vanessa demolished him. She brought the expired charter, the original land deed, county zoning errors, drone footage, everything. The judge dismissed it in under 20 minutes. You don't get a grace period on legal authority, he said. You get a deadline. You missed it. Denise moved out 3 weeks later. Her board crumbled like wet cardboard. That weekend, I invited everyone to the ranch. We roasted chickens, played music, let the kids run wild. No clipboards, no fines, no approval forms. Just neighbors, finally free from tyranny disguised as community. I shared stories of the land, my grandfather's barn raisings, the flood of '82, the cow that once chased the mailman. People laughed, asked questions, brought pies. For the first time in years, the land felt like ours again. And then, a letter came. A TV producer. Denise had pitched her side to a network. They wanted to film, turn it into drama. I threw the letter in the fireplace. Let them guess what really happened. The truth was already Olivine courtrooms, in lease agreements, in kids planting tomatoes without fear of citation. One morning, the sheriff pulled up beside me at the edge of the pasture. You did it, he said. I didn't reply, just stared at the land. My land. No more fences. No more fraud. No more pretending that a clipboard made someone king. They called it a subdivision. Now it was home. Mine. Theirs. Ours. And nobody was stealing it again.